Hey, Bougie Club. What's going on? What's going on? You guys hit me in the comments. Let me know you're online. We're going to get into this on this wonderful Sunday morning. Oh, look, I'm still tired. It's Sunday evening. Oh man, you guys, I have been running on adrenaline for the last few days because for some reason I haven't been sleepy. So I've been staying up, getting a lot of stuff accomplished. I went to see the Nutcracker today at the Orpheum. It was a production by the Memphis Ballet or Ballet Memphis. Really, really nice production. It was my first time going to a ballet, and I really enjoyed it. So it was my first time, but it definitely will not be my last. Hey, Miss D. Um, but I want to get into this, and I have a task and an assignment for you guys to do over the next couple of weeks. I just realized that not only are we approaching the end of the year, we're approaching the end of a decade. And to me, that seems to have a lot of significance. One of the things that I find myself doing is always focusing on what I didn't do. And I don't know if you guys can relate, but I had a lot of milestones that I set for myself at one point where I wanted to do X number of things by the time I turned 25, by the time I was 30, by the time, I don't think I had anything I wanted to accomplish by the time I turned 40, but there's always those 30 under 30 lists, 40 under 40 lists, and those lists are great and those accolades are great, and I think we should celebrate people. But for those of us who may not have met those targets or accomplished those things that we thought we should have by a certain age, it can make you feel some type of way. And that's because sometimes we put more focus on what we haven't done versus what we have done. So I'm going to encourage you to take a look back over the last 10 years of your life and start writing down what you have accomplished and don't focus on what you didn't get done. And so I started working on that list today. And now mind you, you'll find that what you actually remember of the last 10 years is going to be completely insignificant in comparison to all the things you've done in each 365-day cycle. But I want you to write down the good, the bad, the ugly, and so you can see how much you have done and how much those things that you have accomplished impacted your life, how they impacted your family. Because I can guarantee you all have accomplished some great things. You guys have endured some great things. You guys are on the other side of some great things. You are embarking on some great things. And so I want you to take a time to look back over the last 10 years and reflect on some of the things you did. So I'm going to give you an example. And y'all know I get naked, so I'm going to be sharing all type of stuff. But I'm going to read you guys my list. Hey, Miss Vanessa. In hopes that it'll encourage you to make your list and be comfortable with your list and know that there's not a such thing as a good list or a bad list. It's just documenting what you've accomplished in the last 10 years. It's kind of like your eulogy for the last decade. And hopefully it will inspire you to keep moving forward on some goals that you still have pending that you want to accomplish, or perhaps it'll make you revisit what you thought you wanted to accomplish, and maybe you'll decide that you want to do something else. So I'm going to start with my life from 2010 to 2009. Now, I'm not going to go through what year or the dates or whatever, because to be honest, I don't even remember that level of detail. But I know there was a whole lot of things that happened to me in the last 10 years. So I'm going to start. So I graduated from college. for the fourth time with my second master's degree in the last 10 years. I put 4 children through high school. 2 of them graduated in 2017, 1 graduated in 2013, and 1 graduated in 2018. And then I had 1 child to get her realtor license. I moved in, you guys, with the love of my life at that moment. We got engaged, and then we broke up, and then I moved out. And I moved 4 times in the last 10 years. My house went into foreclosure twice in the last 10 years. I filed bankruptcy twice in the last 10 years, trying to save the house. But I was able to keep the house, and now my mother lives in that house, so I was able to move my mother and my stepfather from Michigan to Memphis into a warmer climate that was more suitable for older bones. What else did I do? I live by myself for the first time, so I currently live alone, and this is my first time ever living by myself. So I accomplished that this decade. I lost 2 organs this year. This last 10 years, I was diagnosed with lupus. I went to a mountaintop. I did a 5K. I got fired from a job for the first time in my life. I also successfully sued that organization and won for wrongful termination because they terminated me while I was on FMLA. So I was able to accomplish that. I've been to 5 countries in the last 10 years. I've started 4 companies. Thank you, Miss Sandra. I made over $1 million in the last 10 years now. That's just me going through my tax returns and adding up over the years or whatever. So $1 million is not a lot of money. I'm just telling you, because I've seen it over the last 10 years, and I promise you, I don't know where it is or where it went. I can't give you those details. And I want you guys to kind of look at that, because we set monetary targets as a barometer of our success, but we don't think about how our salaries add up annually and over a lifetime. So when you say you want to be a millionaire, are you already a millionaire? Maybe you a half a millionaire. But what I'm saying is, if you look at a period of time collectively, you've probably already accomplished a lot of the things that you think that you haven't, because you're not doing any reflection. So think about that, because like when I sat down and really looked at my tax returns, I'm like, man, I had a lot of money over the last 10 years. What, did I use it wisely? That begs the question, because I don't have any of it now, but I've lived the life that I wanted to live. So you guys kind of think about that when you're going through your list. I met Lisa Nichols, which you guys know I love Lisa Nichols. I met her twice in the last 10 years. I met God for myself in the last 10 years, had a epic evolution. I founded the best club ever and have the best members ever. I love you guys, Bougie Club. I launched an online school. I gained 40 pounds. What else? I bought my dream car, and then I sold that dream car because it wasn't all that it cracked up to be. I inspired tens of thousands of people over the last 10 years. I learned a new language. I'm also getting ready to embark on learning Russian. So y'all, we're gonna see how that works out. I lost a sister. I lost a brother. I established a relationship with my family that I hadn't previously had before. So that was epic. That was really big. Building bridges to some broken family ties. I took my mama on a turn-up tour for her 80th birthday. I saw my birth father for the first time in 33 years. That was an epic experience. I went to my first ballet, which was today. I took my kids out of the country, which was like a lifelong dream that I had for them. So mind you, that was something 25 years in the making, and I was able to accomplish that within this decade. So I think that's like super duper dope. I've met some super dope, awesome people. I've maintained and nourished some super duper dope relationships. I have some great friends. Oh man, I have some. I'm really, even in all of the lost relationships, I am reminded that I am surrounded by people who are consistent and they like love me for who I am, no matter what I'm going through, no matter where I may be on my mountain of life, whether I'm at the base of the mountain, whether I'm on the climb or whether I'm at the top. They're consistent. They're there for me. They're, cheering for me every step of the way. And so, I don't know, like, I'm going to keep up with this list as things come to me. And so I want to encourage you all to start writing down your reflections over the last 10 years so that it can inspire you to go into this new year. And not only this new year, but this new decade with a renewed sense of aspiration, inspiration, invigoration. Like, I want you to go into this new decade optimistically moving forward with the knowing of all of the things that you've been able to accomplish the last 10 decades. I don't want you to focus on what you didn't do. Because let's be real, if you guys have been doing the evolution and you've been doing your work, you'll start on a path of something that you think that you want. And as you obtain it or you get closer to it, you get clarifying information, and then you want to pivot. And I've told you guys several times, it's okay to change your mind. It is. There's nothing wrong with that. You have permission. It's safe to change your mind. You have permission to change your mind. So if you're still working on some goals that you set for yourself that you wanted to accomplish by the time you're 25 and you 45 and you still working on a 25-year-old dream, I want you to sit back and do this reflection and see, is that 25-year-old dream still what you want at 45? Like, let's keep it 100. I wanted to be married by 25, have the family, the house, and all of that. And I accomplished all of that, but I never got married. I've been engaged a couple of times, but I never got married. And at this point, at 42, I don't want to be married. Like, I'm not even clear on if I really want male companionship, because just this whole process of dating that I've been doing, like the last 3 months, it's too much pressure. It's too much work. I like my life peaceful. And then just knowing where I am, it's not fair to him to even waste his time. Like, I had this one guy that I've been dating for a couple of months, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do Friday. And then in searching for something for us to do, I found stuff that I wanted to do. And he wasn't interested in doing it. So, you know what? I prioritized what I wanted to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a rain check on this weekend, because I'm going to see the Nutcracker and I'm going to see this documentary. And he wasn't interested in that. And so I don't know how he feel about it. I really don't care. But at the same time, I enjoyed myself this weekend. I went to the documentary. It was very informative. I made some great connections that have helped me move forward on some things I have working for 2020. I enjoyed the ballet. I went. I didn't even have a ticket. I didn't even know if they were going to have seats available. Initially, I was going to go Friday, but I decided to go today, and I went to the ticket office, in the little box office, and she was like, how many? And I was like, just one. And like, she gave me a complimentary ticket, and it was like in the orchestra section. It was like a really good seat. I could see everything. There was nobody sitting in front of me that was blocking my view. So it was just like really, really amazing. And so I'm going to continue to choose what I want to do over what somebody else wants to do. And so I don't know if that's fair in the dating game, but you know what? It feels good to me, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm just sharing all of this with you because I used to feel some type of way because I wasn't married. You know what I mean? And society makes us as women feel like we should be married. They'll tell you, when you going to let somebody make an honest woman out of you? Well, you know what? I'm honest, period. And being married is not going to make me honest. And so I'm just saying, sometimes we hold on to some desires and some goals that come from a place that no longer serve us. And Miss Sandra, I'm in touching and agreeing with you that 2020 is going to be epic. 2019 owes me nothing. It has been so fabulous. It has blown my mind. It has exceeded all of my expectations, even when I look back over the last 10 years and I can see how some of those things that really put me in a down place and a dark place and had me in tears for days and nights and weeks and months was just a perfect setup for things that I'm experiencing now and things that have yet to come. I want you guys to sit down and reflect over your last decade and like be inspired to know, like Miss Sandra said, 2020 is gonna be epic. Like, this next decade will not fail to exceed your expectations. Like, you are moving into a new year and a new decade. You know, we're in the 21st century. Things exist now that didn't even exist 10 years ago. So everything is possible. That thing that you want to do, that you want to experience, that you want to create, invent, all of that is possible, y'all. Like, look back over the last 10 years and like congratulate yourselves. Pat yourself on the back. Like, man, that's all I can say. Like, look, I read to y'all off my list. I had started writing it down, and this, you guys, ironically enough, I had bought this journal from Mr. Macklin. Mr. Macklin, if you watching, I Indian gave your journal. I never did get it to you, but this is like my gratitude journal, my dream book, my thought book. I don't know what you want to call it, but when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep, I start writing in this. If ideas come to me, I start writing in this. I have several of these books around the house, and I have one in my work bag, and sometimes I come back to them. And so I like reflect a lot. I like writing stuff down. I'm big on dream it, write it, speak it, believe it, get it done. And so I want to encourage you to write down, and I want you to write it down. Like, you can just think about it, but I'm telling you, there's power in writing this list down so that you can actually see it tangible in the flesh, in the physical, what you've accomplished, what you've experienced, what you overcome in the last 10 years, so that you can rest in your power and know how strong you are, how great you are. Just keeping it 100 things that you want to improve upon and things that you do want to work on. Looking back on, how you've been moving over the last 10 years, you might decide you want to make some changes, and you might decide, you know what, I'm going to quit trying to press towards change. I'm happy with where I am and, what I've accomplished. And if you're content and if you arrived at your place where you want to be and you're good in life, there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly okay. Like, I don't want you to feel like you got to do more. But I want you to understand, if you're at a place where you don't feel like you have to do more, I want you to relish in the fact that you've come to your arrival. Like, celebrate that. Like, we've been doing some epic stuff, Bougie Club. That's all I'm saying. And I want you guys to write it down so you can see what you've done. And that's all I got for y'all. Like, it's not a whole lot. It's just, a little assignment, a little task. Write it down. Reflect on your last 10 years. Give yourself some pats on the back. Like, man, I'm just thinking about like 2 foreclosures, 2 bankruptcy, the irony in that in 2020. my bankruptcy drops off my credit report. So when I say a new year, this is like a new year. You know, and like, so let's be clear, filing for bankruptcy was never on my radar, you know, but like I was trying to save my house, and that was the option that made the most sense at the time for me to try to save my house. I was coming out of a layoff. You know, I had got laid off from Medtronic, the housing, you know, like we were in a recession. I was getting unemployment. Like I was getting unemployment and I was getting public assistance because I was underemployed and I was working. So this is just tell you how jacked up my finances were. I was working a job and they was still letting me get unemployment because the job that I was working wasn't really paying me enough to survive. And so like, and I look and think about all of that. That was like 2010, and here I am sitting in 2019 in a life bigger than what I ever dreamed or imagined. Like this wasn't the life that I was dreaming in 2010. This wasn't the life I was dreaming when I was trying to keep a roof over our head. I was just the dream was to keep a roof over the head. So I just want you guys to look at how far you've come, what all you've been able to accomplish. Like, I got a second master's degree this decade. Like, wow, you know. I started like 4 companies that are like up and moving and generating revenue, and like I never thought that. It was not even in my radar, my focus coming in to this decade. Like this decade I was just trying to find a job, you know, and maintain a job. I wasn't thinking about entrepreneurship, but, you know, my son graduated from high school and he dropped out of college pursuing entrepreneurship. And it just like was like, there's an idea. Like I can take my hustles and make them a full-time job, you know, and then I'm responsible if I don't have any money versus somebody else trying. So it was just like all type of revelations. Thank you, Miss Carlise. You know, just looking back, you know, it's a song. I don't even remember. Y'all probably know who sing it. Miss Sandra, you probably know who sing it. But it's, I want to say maybe is it Kurt Carr? I don't know. But it talks about when I look back over my life, man, like, I'm just going back 10 years. Like 10 years. And I know I'm going to think of some more things. So I want you guys to do that. Like take it all the way back to 2010 and write it down and make it plain and just feel the joy of where you were and where you are and be optimistic about where you're going. I'm not even really truly making any plans for 2020, 2021, this next decade. I just know how I want to feel. Like I want to feel good. I want to feel the highs that I felt of 2019. And I'm okay with feeling the lows because, you know, you have to have balance. But I'm excited for what's to come. And I really am, because like I don't even know what's going to come. I don't even have any expectations other than it's going to be something epic. Like it's going to be great. It's going to truly be phenomenal. And so when we sit at 2029 and we have this conversation, it'll be on a whole new level, and each one of us will be barely recognizable. Because when I look back at the last 10 years, it's like I'm the life I live now is in no way a reflection of those moments that I was in. Like this that I'm living is a product of that, but it was not the vision that came from that. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all. So I want y'all to do just try it. Just this is a little exercise. Y'all hit me up in the comments, hit me in the inbox. You can share, feel free to share with each other in the comments some of your great accomplishments. We're gonna call this our 20 for 20 list. Think of 20 things that you've accomplished in this 10 years to propel you into 2020, right? So yeah, look back and do your 2020 list. 20 things that's prepared you to move into 2020. Cause y'all, it's gonna be epic. We're gonna be doing some epic things. There will be a change in how the platform operates. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the motivational speaking opportunities that's coming up. I'm excited about learning Russian. Like, I ain't never even wanted to go to Russia, but I'm gonna learn how to speak a new language. I want to learn how to speak Arabic too this year. So we're gonna see how that works out, y'all. So keep it going. Keep up the great work. I'm proud of you. I'm super duper 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 proud of you. I'm so glad that you continue to move forward. I'm glad that you continue to be bold, outspoken, unapologetic, goodwill, inspiring, and epic every day. 2020 is going to be even greater than your latter years. It's going to blow all of our minds. So just go into it with the expectation of feeling good, feeling happy, feeling excited. I love you all, and as always, I'm your girl J Penelope, and I want you guys to continue to be bougie. I'll see y'all next week.